right, hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. So, today is the 100 subscriber special. Yeah! So, I was super excited and happy to find out that we hit 100 subscribers last night. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't expecting it to happen that way right away. So, here we are. And it's just so awesome. Like it feels so amazing, knowing that I don't know. I feel like I haven't been on YouTube, doing streaming and stuff like that for super long, and here we are at 100 subscribers. It just feels so cool. And I have the chat log sitting right in front of me, which is really cool, so I can see all of you guys right away. The whole point of this stream is to be a chill and chat and hang out. And it looks like we have Wrath of Wood and we have Maz in here hanging out with us. Good to see both of you. Thank you both for being here. I'm just really excited that we hit the 100 subscriber mark so quickly. And it's super cool. So, hey, Dragon Slayer Gaming coming in and saying, happy 100 subscribers! Well, thank you so much, Dragon Slayers. Thank you so much, all of you. All of you are absolutely amazing, and I'm just so happy to have all of you guys here. It's so cool to me. You know what? I'm actually thinking I might still need to bring the chat log up on my phone anyways. I can very clearly see that I might be struggling with my little program that I have here. Let me see. Okay, so basically what I have here in front of you guys is, this is the Magic Set Editor. I have actually had this Magic Set Editor for a very, very long time. It's a really old kind of program that I've been using for more than a decade. And this particular thing that I have it set up on that you can see right in front of you guys, this is actually my own personally designed set that I... Oh, that's really weird. Hold on a second. There seems to be a weird thing going on with my little thingy majigger here. Hold on. I'm gonna fix it. That's right. Aha! This guy. Wait a minute. I have my chat box all funkalicious on here, so I'm gonna kind of try to bring it down just a little bit. Alright, there we go. Now it's all good. Hey, T-Love-T! 100 boys! That's right! We are at that beautiful 100 subscriber mark, and we are here to celebrate good times. Alright, so, so this program, I've had this program for a very, very long time. I have been, hey, Cinder Shadow, saying congratulations, thank you so much for being here, buddy. So I've had this program for a very long time. And this particular, like, you can see that there is one card on here right away. So what I have here is, this is a 229 card set. This is an actual set, a Magic set that I personally designed myself. Obviously, there has been no playtesting. I've had this for over a decade. I've been designing this thing for over a decade. And it's kind of been this... fun little, hey, we got Lettuce and we have Bow Falcon. Good to see you, brothers. So this is basically a pet project that I have been working on for over a decade. When I was a lot younger, I really wanted to be a magic designer. I'm dead serious. Once upon a time, back in the days where magic was still cared about people, and, well, I should say when Wizards of the Coast specifically still cared about people. And I was a young, eager boy who thought that, designing magic cards would be the absolute bee's knees. I kind of, I joined 3 different designer searches, like old designer searches. One of them I got pretty far into, but then I got kicked out on, like, the 3rd or 4th round, if I remember correctly. And this set project was after one... I started working on this after one of the great designer searches. And basically what I did was I was obsessed about card design and card balancing and things like that. And I just made this major effort into learning how to design and balance cards. So this was like my first major magic project that I'd ever worked on. And it kind of expanded out from there. Like, I designed a bunch of cards, I balanced a bunch of things, but I also, like, there's a lot to this particular homemade magic set that I built, which is, there is a story for this set. You're going to notice lots of flavor aspects in it. There are important characters. This basically takes place in a world that is kind of supposed to be like Dominaria a little bit, where this world is like an ancient world that's like a hub, and it has lots and lots of history to it, and there's all sorts of like stories going on in the middle of it. And I even have here, I brought this also because I knew that I wanted to show this off to you guys alongside of this magic set. I have here this right here is a deck about a little, I mean, about as almost as old as the magic set I have in here. This is a book that I had worked on over years and years, as you can, if you guys can see here. This is basically a history book of things that happen in the world that this magic set takes place in that I built. So, I was a major nerd about this when I was a lot younger. I was very, very into this kind of stuff. Everybody's saying, happy 100, 100% spicy. Your boy Lettuce says, give me chill. T-Love T says, heat. And your boy Lettuce says, still better than Ikoria. And Wrath of Wood is offering Lettuce some chill. Very nice of you, Wrath of Wood. So I'm going to kind of go over some of these cards. I'm going to talk about the mechanics, the balance. We'll talk about the story, the characters. I'll even go over some of the history. Like, I put a lot of work into this, and I actually thought that I would never, like, there was a point in time, there's only been a couple of people that I've actually shown this set to before now, obviously. And multiple of my friends told me that I should actually print these out as cards and, like, play test them, which I thought was really funny. But I've never actually tried to do that. So this is basically the only form of this magic set that I've ever had. And like I said, I have the book with all the lore in it, but that's about it. You might also notice that the history book that I have here says Dungeon Master Notebook, Dungeon Master Eyes Only. There was also a period of time where I was a DM for a playgroup that I had for a short amount of time, and I actually tried to write a Dungeons and Dragons story within this world using these characters and cards and things like that, and the history and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of stuff with this. It's been in my life for, like I said, over a decade. And Clay Clay says, ooh, good timing. Good to see you, Clay Clay. Glad to have you in here, buddy. So let me just go ahead and show off the very first card. So this card is weirdly at the top. You'll actually notice that all of the stuff here, I have 229 cards, which I based the number of cards that I have on this set based off of the number of cards that were in the very first Modern Masters set. And I thought that that was like a good round number to go off of. So there are 229 cards total in the Modern Masters set. And also I have the ratios of commons to uncommons to rares to mythic rares also based off of those same ratios from the Modern Masters set. I had to do a lot of calculating to get it right. I had to change how the rarities work and stuff like that. This was years ago that I was working on it. And like I said, it came to be a completely balanced, not through gameplay, because sadly none of these cards have seen gameplay, but it ended up becoming a completely balanced set design, basically, overall. Let's see. Dirty Dan says, Double C, good to see you, buddy. Double C and Double D. We got Double C Clayton and Double D Dirty Dan. Bo Falcon is saying happy birthday to Mr. Clayton because it is Mr. Clayton's birthday, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure you said it was Tuesday, and I believe today is, in fact, Tuesday, and I did just check, and it is in fact Tuesday, so therefore it's Clay Clay's birthday, so happy birthday, Clay Clay! Keep in mind, guys, May babies are best babies. That's right. If you were born in May, you automatically rock. Uh, and everybody's saying happy birthday to Clay Clay! Good job, Clay Clay. Glad to have you in here on your birthday. Dragon Slayer says, hide the stream. We don't want Watsy to steal any actual good ideas. I don't care. Like, that was something that, I'll be honest, when I was younger, I used to be very private about this little magic set that I built because I put so much work and time and effort into it that I was really afraid of people stealing my ideas. But the thing is like, now I don't care. I really don't care. And like, on top of me not caring if other people steal any ideas, I will also say this. Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast. If you want to take my ideas, please do so. I don't care. Anything is better than the shitty Ikoria release you guys did. Your cards suck. Your designers are not good at making cards anymore. So if you want to steal some cards from my own personal design, please do so. I don't mind it. I don't even care. Okay. Oh, looks like Dragon Slayer has a lily body pillow. That's sexy. They have eyes everywhere, DLG. Ooh, the plumping! Happy birthday, Double C! Happy birthday, Clay Clay! I heard that phrase too many times today. Probably talking about hearing happy birthday all day, every day. Thank you all, says Clay Clay. Bo Falcon says, oh so funny, just played against a Luris deck and I had a Leyline of the Void, opening hand on the board. They looked at it for about 10 seconds and then conceded. Yeah, come on. Their card design is not up to par anymore. Dirty Dan says, they will take your idea and make it shitty. And Clay Clay says, true, Bo, the cat doesn't come back. It's true. It's true story. So the first card I have up here is, you'll notice that, like, so all these cards are kind of, like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can kind of see that the cards here in this section are, like, the titles are white. Down here, the titles are blue and black, and then red, and then green, and then I have gold cards down here, and then there's artifacts in here, and then lands down here. So everything is kind of sorted by color in this current sort setup that I have right now. And you'll notice that the top card, though, is a card that has no color in its mana cost, but it actually is a multicolored card. And there are reasons for that, based on a combination of things. It's based on the majority of it is for flavor reasons, because there's a storyline about a legendary creature who is all colors but does not use colored mana in order to use their power. So it's kind of like, if you guys have ever seen, I think it's called like Transguild Courier from like Dissension. The card Transguild Courier is what originally inspired me for creating this character, which they are depicted in the art here. So this card is called Kolvetka Invocation, and it's got a 5 mana CMC of colorless, and it is an instant speed common, and it says Kolvetka Invocation is all colors, and it says choose to prevent all damage dealt to target creature you control, tap or untap target permanent, target creature has -2/-2 until end of turn, target creature has double strike until end of turn, or target creature has +3/+3 until end of turn. So I really like charm cards, and what I did was I did a whole cycle of charm cards in this particular set. And the thing is that I wanted there to be like a king of charms, and so basically what I came up with was that this Kolvetka Invocation is supposed to be the super charm. Let's see. Jerry Miret says, I'm in the hospital. My nut grew 3 times its size on this day. All right, man. Well, I mean, I don't know whether you're being a silly boy or you're being dead serious, but all the same, I wish you nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. I hope you do all right, homie. And let's see, the community is just 10 times better than the designers. It can be true, T Love T. It can be very true. Dirty Dan says, "What is this though?" So this is the Magic Set Editor program, and what I have done is this is a set that I've worked on for over a decade, and it's kind of like a brainchild that I've been working on since I was very young, and back in the days when I actually wanted to be a Magic designer, like a Magic card designer. So I'm just kind of showing it off and kind of talking about it. And the whole point really is just to kind of hang out with you guys. I'm going to be constantly reading the chat. I mean, I will be, reading the cards and kind of telling you guys about what's going on. But I am trying everything I can because I don't have to worry about focusing on a game. So I kind of just wanted to hang out with you guys, chat with everybody, see how you all are doing. This is kind of like I'm celebrating having 100 subscribers, and the important thing about celebrating 100 subscribers is spending time with you guys, because you guys are the people who are making this all possible for me. So I just want to hang out with you guys. Michael's Magic said, "I finally made it to one of the streams. Glad to have you here, Michael's Magic." Jerry says, "Whoa, the rain just suddenly got intense. We've been having on and off rainstorms here, and they have been crazy." Jerry says, "Oh, dead serious epididymis from a prostate infection at 26. Don't do drugs, kids." All right, Jerry. Well, I really do hope that you take care of yourself, buddy. And I hope you get better soon, homie. So just take it easy. Have a good time hanging out with us, and I hope you have a very, very quick recovery. So anyways, talking about this card just a little bit more before I move on to it, because we've looked at it for way too long. It's basically supposed to be a charm where the idea is that Kolvatka is a important legendary character who is actually not in this set of cards. And the reason why is because the idea is that Kolvatka, in the history of this storyline that I've created, is an ancient, like, dragon god, basically. And he is essentially, he's immortal, but he's, like, not alive on the plane. And the thing is that he is kind of, like, trapped in this death-like state that's not actually being dead. And the idea is that there's a whole thing about him coming back to life, and it's, like, part of this huge prophecy. And the card here, the Kolvatka Invocation, is actually the only card in the entire set that actually talks about him. That actually is based on the idea of his power as like a dragon god. And the idea is that it's a card that represents a fraction of his power and the process of him coming back to life from the realm of the undead. So that's kind of like what this card is supposed to be on a flavor perspective. And the flavor text says, "His name a whisper of the ancient past." So you kind of get the idea that he's like this mysterious, dead, dragon creature of some sort. And you don't really know what's going on, but you kind of get, a little taste of that. So let's move on. We're going to go right into the white. Your boy Lettuce says, "Or do more drugs." Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think that that might be a possibility? Doing more drugs? Honestly, guys, be safe out there, okay? Please be safe. Please be safe. Michael's Magic says, "When I heard what you said, I thought it was a hernia." Oh, like, that's a back thing, isn't it? Wrath of Wood says, "Yikes at Jerry. Hope you get better soon." And Dirty Dan is laughing at Lettuce because he's a silly man. So basically, I have in white, there's kind of like a soldier tribalism theme going on. I picked some kind of basic tribes so that there would be, something that people could build off of and have like a various different kind of, like, they can be white soldier tribe, or there's a few other tribes and you guys will see them. So what I have here is the Elation Company. And they are a 3-mana 3/3 human soldier first strike. And it says, whenever a soldier creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Elation Company. And then it says, pay 1 white mana, Elation Company has +1 or -1, or -1 or +1 until end of turn. So the whole thought process behind this card was that it's a a soldier that is supposed to be building itself off of gaining more soldiers into its army. And the idea is that whenever a new soldier enters the battlefield, it basically kind of adds itself to the Elation Company army. And then on top of that, the ability to kind of switch the power and toughness is supposed to be based on the idea that when you have an organized army, you can like figure out like who is going to be in relation to the power level versus who's going to be defensive. And I thought it would be kind of good flavorfully because there's a lot of like soldier shenanigans going on with the tribalism and things like that. Michael's Magic says, yeah, but your intestines can be pushed into your you know what. Please take care of your body, guys. Be safe. Be safe. If there's any message I could get across at this point right now, just be safe, guys. Just be safe. So now, moving on to the next white card. So this is called the Angel of Intent. And so at the time that I created this card, I had this obsession with 4 mana or less angels. I liked seeing one of the original angels that I fell in love with for Magic the Gathering is called oh god, what's it called? Oh jeez. Oh, it's at the tip of my tongue, you guys. It's I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but it's an angel that costs 4 mana and it's a rare, and it says that as long as the angel's in play, anytime a source would deal damage to you, you may prevent 1 damage of that source. And I was really obsessed with that card a lot. I still kind of am. I think it's one of my favorite angels ever printed. And I can't remember the name of it, but once I started playing with that card and I found so much good use out of it, I thought it was a really powerful card and I loved using it. I got really into the idea of angels being at 4 mana and no more than 4 mana and no less than 4 mana. Because, like, in my opinion, 4 mana is like this nice little, like, sweet spot for angel cards, you know? And I loved it. So basically what I did was I kind of I wanted to make a common angel that only cost 1 white and 3, and have flying and vigilance, kind of like a Sarah angel. And the way that I decided to work with it was I was like, okay, well, it's basically a Sarah angel, but for 1 less white, and also it's 4 instead of 5. And I was like, so the only way to balance that out and make it within the common range, but still be utilized properly as a nice, solid beat stick common, was I reduced the power from 4 to 2. And I thought that, like, that was, like, a good level of power balance for the card. And I really liked how it turned out. Like, I have not changed this card since I originally designed it that way, and I love it. I really do love it. The flavor text says, the Angels of Intent are Jinta's personal recon, scouts of the highest class, yet merely harbingers of Jinta's true elite. So basically this is more flavor. Like I said, I have a whole history. I have all these deep characters. The entire, to give a little bit more context on the flavor of what's going on. The world that this all takes place in, it's got this really weird name that I've always wanted to change, and I've never been sure about it, but I called the plane, Ondog Maria, which is like Ondog Matia, and it sounds really funky, and I've always kind of wanted to change it, but I've never, had the ability to properly change it. I never knew what I wanted to change it to. But the whole point was that it was supposed to have the word dogma in it to represent, like, you know, gods and godly prophecy and stuff like that. And because this set is actually about, like, gods walking the earth and stuff like that. And mind you, I first designed this set before we had god cards and stuff like that. Like, I was first designing this before Theros was a thing. So there were no god cards in Magic at all when I first designed this. So this was like my first original attempt at writing a Magic story and designing a Magic set that had cards that were gods in it. So the idea is that there are 5 gods and they all represent color wedges. And Jinta is one of the 5 color wedge gods in the storyline. Let me catch up on the chat just a smidge bit more. Your boy Lettuce says, I will safely drink all the alcohol from the safety of my couch. Well, you do you, Lettuce, but you stay safe while you doing it, brother. Dirty Dan says, I'm a head out for the night. Happy birthday to Clay Clay, and take care of yourselves, everyone else. Have a great night, Dirty Dan. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. Clay Clay says, later, Double D. And Ratherwood says, Angel of Common. And Bo Falcon says, Guardian Seraph. Yes, Guardian Seraph is the angel that I was talking about that I couldn't remember the name of. I love Guardian Seraph. It is actually one of my favorite angels of all time. Like, I love that card so much. I love the art. I love the mana cost. I love the power level. I love its ability. It's one of my favorite angels ever printed in Magic the Gathering because it's so solid. It's so solid, and it's got such a good power to mana balance to it. And it's like, it's not overpowered, but it's not weak. It's like in that nice... Guardian Seraph has always been in this nice, sweet spot for angel cards. And it has been a major... It made a major impact on me when I first got it. I used to have like 2 or 3 copies of it. And I put it in a white deck a long, long time ago, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorites. Your boy Les says, instructions unclear, dick stuck in fan. Oh no, what have you done, buddy? I'm going to have some water real quick. Gotta get that fresh, delicious water. Gotta get that water in my body. So yeah, this is basically a angel servant of the god character Jinta, which I promise we will get into. I might try and skip around. Let me see. I might skip a few of these that are like not as interesting. Like I said, I was playing with a lot of different things. Like I was kind of like trying to push power levels of things that would otherwise seem kind of insignificant. So this was an enchantment that I was kind of experimenting with to try some new things. So this is an enchantment that says, it's called Attending Force. It's 1 white mana. It's a common enchantment or enchant creature. And it says, when Attending Force enters or leaves the battlefield, you may put a 1/1 white soldier token onto the battlefield. So what I was trying to experiment with when I designed this card was I wanted to make an enchantment that was at a common level, and you would have to put it on a creature, but the enchantment itself would not do anything specifically to the creature that you enchanted on. But what it does do is that it gives you an advantage of board state when it enters the battlefield, and then it gives you an advantage of board state when it leaves the battlefield. So the whole point was to design this card that basically you wouldn't feel bad about playing it ever. Like, it's not like over... Like, once again, it's one of those things where it's like, I had to design something that feels good when, like, you put this on your creature and your creature gets destroyed. Well, you get the one little creature when it enters the battlefield, which feels pretty awesome. And then you basically have built in an insurance policy into the creature you enchant it with. So, like, if I enchant a creature that's going to be killed, like, I could put this on, like a creature that would be very likely to be killed or whatever, it would die, but then my insurance policy, basically, would say, oh, we noticed that you lost your creature. Well, here's another creature in compensation for it. So that way, like, you get something to begin with, so it doesn't feel terrible, and then you get something when they try to get rid of one of your creatures that it enchants. So, and the idea is that also, like, I wouldn't put this at uncommon, because it's not powerful enough to be uncommon, and I definitely wouldn't put it at rare. So it was kind of like like on the borderline of being at that power level balance for a common card. Like, it's supposed to be a common card that doesn't feel broken, but it doesn't feel bad, and it's just kind of like you're okay with it. Like, you're comfortable with it, and you don't feel bad about you losing it, because you get something immediately when you play it, and then you get something when you lose it. And I was like, that's a feels good, but not overpowered. Let's see what else. Blah, blah, blah. Bo Falcon's laughing at Mr. Lettuce. Hey, we have a QW07 who's saying hi. Hello, QW07. Thank you for coming in and joining us. Glad to have you in here. Michael's Magic says, kind of reminds me of the one-cost zombie maker. Is that the one where you, like, I think it's like it's a one-mana, like, black zombie, and you can discard cards and it'll make other zombies or something like that? I kind of remember that, and I kind of remember it being really good. Let's do a mythic rare. So this is a mythic rare that I designed, and this particular card has gone through a lot of different renditions. Because I'm always worried about this card in particular. This thing I have redesigned a lot, and I was never sure if it was too powerful or not. It actually used to be more powerful than this, and I still feel like that this might be too powerful. So this is Balustar the Ascending Light, and it's a 5-mana legendary angel, and it is a 5/3 lifelinker, and it says, if 2 or more creatures died this turn, you may return Balustar the Ascending Light from your graveyard or exile to the battlefield. So, no matter how many times I have tried to, like, redesign this card, I'm never sure about it. Because, I always am worried that the clause that allows it to come back from the dead is too powerful. But the clause that allows it to come back from the dead was the main inspiration to building this card in the first place. I still have my reservations about it, and I'm never sure if it's, yeah, Clay right away is like, yeah, that's way too powerful. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because then I look at stuff that we have now, and I don't know if it's too powerful. I've kind of, like, it used to be, this may scare the hell out of you guys. This actually used to be a flying haster. Like, it used to have haste tacked onto it. And I was like, nah, no, there's no way. I don't know, I've just tried a few different things, and I'm never really sure about it. I might put it back on the chopping block and try to redesign it again. I'm never sure if I can, like, I don't even know if, I feel like if I took lifelink off of it, it would still be too powerful. And then I thought of turning it into like a 4/4, and I was like, I don't know, maybe that's still too powerful. Like, I don't really know what to do with it. It's definitely been kind of this, this card that I've tried to redesign over and over again. I'm just never sure about it. But I might try to tweak it again soon. I don't know. It's been a while since I've worked on this set, and I can definitely say the last time I did actually operate on this set and tried to work on it, I definitely was working on this guy a couple of times. And he just never feels right, no matter what I do. But he is actually a story character in the storyline that I have built for my set, which is why I have to get him right. And there is a whole thing about him being basically, he's like the angel, he's basically like an angel that governs like life and death and things like that. And so the idea is that he is this angel that is able to come back from the dead over and over again. And there's a couple of like stories with a few of the other characters where they run into this character. And he, you know, there's one story in particular where he brings one of the characters back from the dead, but it has a hefty price on their lifestyle afterwards. So I really, really want to make this card work, and I really want to make the immortality thing work. I just don't know quite how to do it. Let's see. Ratherwood says, this angel is good. Dragon Slayer says, I would add from combat damage. That might be a good little condition, Dragon Slayer. Ratherwood says, or if triggered, if only humans died. That's also a good idea. Something I like to do, too, is there's a little, like, on the card set, there's, like, a little notepad. So I might actually, like, take some notes and things like that and try it out. Clay says, it's immune to board wipes, any sack engine it sees itself, and only one other creature. Maybe if another angel enters the battlefield, it returns to play. That's a really good one, Clay. That is actually, that's a lot more stable. I actually really like that. Like the idea of, like, because it is part of, like, a angels kind of have this sort of overall theme. It's not the same kind of tribal as soldiers, but there are a lot of angels on this particular plane because I told you guys that there are gods. One of the gods is very particular about having angels around. So maybe if it had a condition about having other angels around, that could be a really good idea. Lettuce says make him a 4/1 and 5 mana, being triple white. Maybe that would actually be pretty good too, like a more restrictive mana cost. But the thing is too is that I actually might be comfortable with doing a more restrictive mana cost because a lot of people would probably just try to cheat it out into play anyways. And if I make the cheating into play a little bit more restrictive, like what Wrath of Wood or Clay or what Dragon's Lair Gaming was saying, then it might feel better with a more restrictive mana cost as well. So I think I might tweak it at some point. I'm going to go ahead and write down some of the notes you guys mentioned because I think they're all really good ideas and I'll have to kind of tinker around with them. So I'll do, there's a little notepad which I love having in here. Okay. New cost. Trigger from angels. Trigger from humans. And what was the other one? Let's see. Add combat damage. Add combat restriction. Alright, so I got some notes here. And that'll be something... That's what I love. This program is so awesome because I can write down little notes in here. And then, because I don't want to work on it right now, but I'll work on it later. And if I have these notes here, I'll be able to remember. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Did I make any vampires, asks Maz. I did, actually. I'm pretty sure they're in this set. There's one vampire in particular who's really, really cool. We'll probably get to her eventually. I'll kind of skip some of these. Bannered Guard's not very interesting. Battleborn Lancer is kind of lame. Beast Slayer is basically like a white removal creature. Okay, so tell me what you guys think of this one. So this is one that I've kind of like tweaked a few different times. So this is called Elemental Severance, and it's a 4-mana tribal enchantment because, yes, I brought the tribal subtype back into my set. So it's mainly, the idea of tribal-based cards is that you get a bonus if they are targeted at the tribe that they are supposed to be designed for. So this is an enchant creature, and it says enchanted creature has protection from blue, red, and green. And the idea is it's called Elemental Severance because it's separating you from the elements. So that's why it has protection from blue, red, and green. It says if enchanted creature is a soldier, it also has indestructible. So the whole point is that it's supposed to build upon the tribe for soldiers, and you can put it on anything to gain those protections, but you can gain the indestructibility only if it's for soldiers. Let's see. Oh, let us mention non-token creatures died. That might be a good idea. Maz has an evil grin after hearing about vampires. Clayton says, that's really cool. She just loved making vampire babies. So yeah, so this is kind of an enchantment that I was working on. I really wanted to kind of try and beef up enchantments because of the whole thing of, like, the natural weakness to enchantments is that they're always 2-for-1s. And I didn't want to have that as this huge issue. So sometimes the enchantments have, like I showed you the one enchantment that had like a, it comes into play and gives you something, and then it leaves play and gives you something. So the idea was to kind of make enchantments beefier so that you wouldn't feel bad about playing them. So having an enchantment like Elemental Severance, which would protect the creature from different colors, which means you would be less likely to be 2-for-1, and then also adding the indestructibility based on the specific condition of using a soldier. So I really like that. I kind of thought it was kind of a neat idea to kind of get the idea across of enchantments being worth it, basically. So, okay, this is another one I want to show off. So this is called Enlightened Reflection. And I basically have a whole cycle of these specific enchantments. There's a white one, a blue one, a red one, a green one, and a black one. So basically they all kind of have the same concept to them. They're all legendary enchantments. They're all at uncommon. They all have a double color cost requirement. And they all have discard legendary card abilities. And the whole point of this was that when I first built this set, I wanted it to be... basically designed it to kind of have a... like a legendary theme. And mind you, once again, I designed this back before we had the Commander craze. Like, this was way back in... I don't even remember when I first started designing the set, but it was definitely over a decade ago. And at the time that I designed this, legendary creatures weren't, like, a theme. You know, like, they didn't make it a theme in sets like they do nowadays. So I kind of tried to build this legendary card theme, but at the time, when I was doing it, I was saying to myself, well, what would happen if you were playing 4 copies of a legendary card? Like, you had, like, 4 copies of a legendary card in your deck, and there was one on the table, right? And then you have, like, and then you draw, like, another copy of that same legendary card. Well, it would suck because that card is taking up a slot in your hand and it has no purpose, right? Because you already have the legendary card out on the battlefield. So I thought what it would be a good idea to do was to design a cycle of legendary enchantments that allowed you to discard extra legendary cards you had to gain bonuses for other purposes. So, like, that way, your cards that were legendary, even though they were already on the battlefield and you had an extra copy in your hand, you now have the ability to use it for something else, because you don't have the ability to cast it because you already have one in play. So that's what I did this whole cycle based off of. I wanted to make legendary cards have utility outside of them just being played and put on the battlefield. Let's see here. So, so it says, pay 2 mana, discard a legendary card, choose one. You either gain 6 life, you exile target non-legendary creature that dealt damage to you this turn, or put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens into play. So I already see Lettuce is telling me right away you should get rid of the exile clause. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just turn it into a destroy. I don't even remember why I made it exile. It seems pretty obvious that that's probably too powerful. Lettuce says, if it goes from the graveyard, not from play, exile it instead. This was for that angel, return from exile is too strong. Okay. You know what? I will write a note. Remove exile. Remove exile clause. Add destroy. Okay. And I mean, that seems alright, because for white has conditional destruction, and the condition for destruction in this case is that it would have to deal damage to you. So that seems fine to me. I don't think that's too ridiculous at all, Lettuce. I think that's a good choice. So just to kind of show off, this is a Soldier Lord. A 3 mana 1/2 human soldier. It says soldier creatures you control get +1/+1. And it says deal 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. And it says, for the flavor text, the confidence of a sniper goes a long way. That's right. That's right, because he's a sniper. Get it? Get it? Get it? So yeah, I kind of had the idea of like having like a Soldier Lord that was at uncommon. And these kinds of cards had already existed. Like, I kind of think of like in Lorwyn, because they had... Lorwyn is actually what inspired this particular design, because they had lords that were at an uncommon level that were pretty nice and didn't feel too overpowered. Dragon's Eye Gaming says, I just got a crazy idea for a new type of card similar to Aura Enchantments, which / new Aura type, Essence Auras, or for tribal types. If you have another tribe in play, transfer a card to one of those creature types. That actually sounds like an ability that you would tack on to like an enchantment, so that might be kind of cool. That's a good idea, Dragon's Lair. You should get this program and design some cards, buddy. So this one I want to show off because it's got a mechanic that is considered to be one of the major mechanics in the set. So the mechanic here is called influence, and it says enchanted creature has influence, and the influence of text says this creature cannot be blocked if the defending player has fewer legendary permanents on the battlefield than you. And then it also says if enchanted creature is legendary, it also has hexproof. So the whole point is I came up with the idea of a mechanic called influence, and the idea is that you would have more influence in the world as a planeswalker if you had more influential characters or influential things that mattered on your side of the battlefield. So the idea is that the more legendary permanents, like the more unique permanents that you had on your side of the battlefield, made you basically more powerful and more kingly. So the idea is that you would have creatures that have the ability influence, which means because of their regal status, they have the ability to influence other people on the opposite side of the battlefield to let them through. So that was kind of like one of the major mechanics for the set. Maz says, to make that angel come in play, gotta sacrifice 5 angels instead of paying mana. That indestructible angel? Okay. I don't think it's indestructible, but I kind of see what you're getting at. I'll definitely tweak it, because it's way too overpowered, that's for sure. And like I said, like there have been... I knew it was overpowered. So here's another angel. This is a rare. This one is called Jinta's Sentinel, and I actually tried really hard. Like, this is going to sound weird. I tried really hard to make this card simple. Like, as simple as I possibly could. I wanted it to... Like, it may sound weird, but I wanted it to have a very strong power level while being as simplistic as possible. And so the idea was, it's a 5-mana 4/4 classic angel trope, you know, the 5-mana, the 4/4, flying and lifelink. And it says, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more life than an opponent, you may draw a card. So, and it's only allowing 1 draw each turn, so it's not like you would draw cards based on the amount of life you gain or lose or whatever. And I also thought it would be fun to tack on the lifelink, specifically for the purpose of gaining the life in order to draw the extra card. I like it because it's super simple. You know, like, it's not too complex, it's very straightforward, it's got very clear advantage, and I thought it would be kind of fun to just have something that could kind of draw you a single card extra each turn, but play it on white's terms of having more life and things like that. Hey, Magic Historian, what's up, brother? What's up, my catcher? How you doing, Home Slice? Magic Historian says, more like Jesus influence based on that art. 100% would bang. So that art is actually based off of the God character that I have in here. You know what? I think I might skip over to the God characters and show you guys some real cool stuff. I'll do that in just a second. So, Lettuce says it needs to cost 6. Drawing cards is not in White's pie. Sam Dunn. Hey, Sam Dunn. What's up, brother? Just came in. That card looks pretty cool. Probably the Sentinel, I would assume. What did he say? I didn't even see it. Oh, it's so funny. Historian kicked Clayton out for saying, Burp attack! So funny. Alright, well, I mean, I don't know, because I kind of like it at the 5 power level. You know what I could do is, maybe to tone it down, is to remove the lifelink. Because I would rather, it may sound really weird, but I would rather remove the lifelink than increase the mana cost. As weird as that might sound. And that's the thing, too, is a lot of people don't realize that Magic Historian has actually talked about this multiple times in different videos. Mana cost is a big deal that sometimes people don't automatically take into context. Simply changing a single number in a mana cost can drastically change the power level of a card. It can mean the difference between an overpowered card to a weak as shit card. And I would literally rather remove the lifelink on this card than to increase the mana cost into 6 instead of 5. So yeah, I might just I might leave it at 5 and just remove the lifelink. So I'll write possibly remove lifelink. There we go. 6, this is essentially a 4/4 lifeline flyer for 3 with Howling Mine attached on it. Yeah, I could see that, Lettuce. Clay got a birthday gift from Perp. That's hilarious. Yeah, he got that for free. That's, keep in mind, Clay, while you're sitting there in the timeout corner, people pay for the privilege of being put in the corner by Mike Hatcher. So you got that one for free for your birthday, buddy. Keep that in mind. So it challenges white, says T Love T. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that, how that would be the case. I did like the lifelink because I like the idea of it being able to gain the life to put you ahead and draw you cards. But I think maybe at this point, like what Lettuce was saying, maybe it would be more, it might be a little more balanced if I just remove the lifelink. It's a 4/4 flyer. It keeps your life higher on both combat and defense, even without the lifelink. Huh. I'll definitely consider it. I'm not sure. I just, maybe lowering the power, maybe taking the, I don't know. I don't know what would keep, because I really like that 5 CMC. I really do. That was kind of one of the things that really gave it an edge. I'm going to skip the charm and we'll move on to, this one's a favorite of mine. This one I worked really, really hard on, okay? I don't know if it's overpowered or not, and I have done a lot of different things to try and get this into this nice, sweet kind of balance. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure because I feel like that at 1 mana, this thing has so much advantage to it. And I feel like that, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just make the advantages really, really, really tiny, and it'll be fine. And, even with the, those advantages, the advantages I put on this card are so good for the price of the card that I still am worried that it might be too powerful. So this is Lena of the Royal Guard. It's a 1 mana legendary human soldier. It's a 2/1 with flash, so she moves at instant speed. And it says, when Lena of the Royal Guard enters the battlefield, choose 1. Tap target creature. Target creature has +1/+2 until end of turn, or you gain 3 life. So this was designed for a whole bunch of different ideas. So the idea was to have a 1 mana instant speed creature. That was the first major thing about it. I wanted it to be at the 2/1, and the idea was that it's supposed to match with, Lone Lion, for example, or, not Lone Lion, Savannah Lions. Because I wanted to get that 1 mana 2 power, but I wanted it to move at instant speed so that it could be a combat trick. And then I also wanted it so that you could either use it as a combat trick to tap something down at instant speed for 1 mana with a 2/1 body, and then, or you can turn another creature to gain +1/+2, or move her in at defense for instant speed for a 1 mana 3/3 until end of turn. Or if you're really scared, you could just gain 3 life off of it. So, I love her. Please be nice to her, guys. I love this character. She's also a major important character in the storyline that I have as a background for this game. So, let me kind of read the chat, because I gotta know. Whoa, a lot of stuff happened. Hey, Crepsy, what's up? He says, congrats, my dude, on 100 subscribers. Why, thank you, Mr. Crepsy. Magic Historian says, I'll have to remember to spoil Clayton today and time him out in tonight's stream as well. Do you hear that, Clay? You're going to get so many timeout presents tonight. Carly is saying, woo, happy birthday to Mr. Clay. Hell for Gamers, what's up, brother? Coming in. Hello, Habbo, he says. Lettuce says, lower the toughness. Cinder Shadow says, hey, Carly and Hell. Carly's saying hello to Cinder. Your boy Lettuce says, you have to make it fragile. I assume you're probably still talking about the angel, I think. Magic Historian says, fuck you, Cinder. Don't talk to my woman. You are married. Have some respect for your union. You have a child, you sick bastard. You heard the man, Cinder. Dragon's Lair says, hello, Perp, Carly, and Hell for Gamers. Dragon's Lair says, that is way overpowered, even at Mythic for that cost. Yeah, it looks like I think everybody's going to be really upset about this card. I want to make this work, you guys. I want to make this card work. I really do. Cinder Shadow says, Mike, did you get sausage this morning? Elver Gamer says 2018 overpowered or 2020 overpowered because they all need indestructible to come up to the current power level. Rutherwood says, I like it. It got lots of nice words. Magic Historian says, honestly, this seems underpowered. Make it a 3-4 for 1 white. Oh my god. Your boy Lettuce says, so it's a 3-3 shock blocker. I like it giving +2/+2. Carly says, 100 sub hype. Thank you, girl. Clay says, breaks out of timeout and plumps perps buns. Your boy Lettuce, I mean, this is something that Wizards makes as a mythic as is. White, I would think about doing that. Well, I can't. So here's the thing, guys, okay? This, based on a particular, see, like, a lot of my cards that I have in here are based off of crazy ideas I have. And, like, taking something that would be a crazy idea and doing everything I can to balance it as best as I can. This card is not allowed to be more than 1 white. It has to be 1 white mana. I will not change the mana cost. It will not be less than a white mana. It will not be more than a white mana. It has to be exactly 1 white mana. It also... I would prefer it to move at instant speed. Now, here's the thing. I am willing to negotiate the other 3 abilities it has. So, I'm not going to change the mana cost, I'm not going to change the speed, and I'm not going to change the power toughness. But I am okay with changing the ETB abilities. Clay says, Lena seems fine. Thank you, Clay. I'm glad to hear that. It seems like you guys kind of like it. Single white is fine, says Lettuce. This is a creature that is basically combat removal. That is the intentional design. So, also the thing is that this character in the storyline, to give you guys a good comparison, this character, Lena of the Royal Guard, in my storyline for my set, is kind of like, Thalia, the Guardian of Thraben. They kind of have like a similar sort of character storyline, which was not intentional, I swear. The idea is Lena of the Royal Guard is kind of this soldier character who is very strong, very confident, and she's basically like one of the head soldiers of basically one of the largest kingdoms in the entire storyline. So she's kind of this super important character, and she's, like, she has a bunch of adventures, does all sorts of crazy things, influences a lot of other characters to do various different things, and I really like her as a character, and I really just wanted her to be like this. I really did. Let's see, Lettuce says, he thinks I should remove the tap clause. Tapping a creature is a combat counter, says T Love T. Your boy Lettuce says, make it give +2/+2 or change tap clause to grant first strike. You know what? I kind of like the first strike ability, actually. I like having her be +1/+2 because the original intention of that was so that you could flash her into play and turn her into a 3/3 blocker at instant speed. And yes, you could give that +1/+2 bonus to any character, but the point specifically was to make her into a 3/3. Your boy Lettuce also says you need to make her mythic. Okay, well, here's the thing. Also, all of the rarity symbols in this set are balanced based on a proper set design. So if I make her a mythic rare, that means I have to take a mythic rare out and add a new rare in, or I have to take a mythic rare and turn it into a rare. So that's the thing, is because all of the numbers are exactly precise for this set design. So I'm willing to negotiate maybe trying to turn her into a mythic. And I am kind of interested. I wouldn't mind taking the tap target creature out and instead putting in target creature gains first strike. The only reason why I'm a little nervous about putting in the first strike along with the +1/+2 ability is because there's a whole finesse to the design of this card, okay? So the first ability that she grants affects a creature on the opponent's side of the board. The second ability she grants affects a creature on your side of the board. And then the third ability that she grants affects you directly. So there's kind of supposed to be this balance to it where it's like, I can choose to affect one of your creatures, I can choose to affect one of my creatures, or I can just take life and like gain life. So if I add target creature gains first strike and also target creature you control can also have +1/+2, then that means that two of the abilities are directly affecting you instead of one of them affecting your opponent and the other one affecting you. So there's, like I said, it's kind of like there's a weird balance to it. Like I kind of have like a weird, like it's something you wouldn't otherwise think of, but it's supposed to kind of have like a smooth design to it, as weird as that might sound. Take away the legendary and instead of +1/+2 give something else first strike. So maybe what I could do is, let me tell you what you guys think about this. What if I keep the tap target creature and instead remove the +1/+2 and make it so that target creature would have first strike instead of the +1/+2? Do you think that would be better? Because I kind of want to keep the tap target creature in. Let's see. Maz says, see you later, Hobbs. We'll finish this stream later. My fiance wants me to watch a movie with dinner tonight, but we'll catch you in the perp stream. All right, Maz. Well, you have a great night. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Bo Falcon says, the first strike with flash makes more sense than the tapping. I agree with lettuce. The legendary is necessary because storyline character. Yes, it has to be a legendary character. I'm not going to stop that from happening. So, okay, so first strike makes more sense than tap target creature. So, okay, well then, let's look at it this way. If you guys think that tap target creature is too OP, or that it doesn't make sense, what would be something that I can do with this creature that would affect the opposing board state without being overpowered? Maybe, how about this? What if it says target creature can't block this turn? What about that? What do you guys think about that idea? Do you think target creature can't block this turn would be more balanced than tap target creature? Clay says yes, first strike. Okay, so I'm getting the idea that the +1/+2 might come out and be replaced with first strike. But I still want to have something that would be changed for the tap target creature. If I can't do the tap target creature, then I'm thinking about maybe like target creature can't block this turn. Dragon's Lair Gaming says prevent combat damage from target creature this turn, of course. Lettuce says, ooh, second ability, target attacking creature is placed on the bottom of its owner's deck. Jesus Christ. You know that's ridiculous, right, Lettuce? Like, I know you know that that's ridiculous. That is such a powerful ability. I don't think I could do that. Okay, so I'm thinking that, let's see, I'm going to type into the reminder text down here, the notes, target creature can't block this turn. And then I'll also put remove power boost for first strike. And we'll see how that works. I might think about it and I'll replace it later. That might be a lot more interesting. I do kind of like the idea of replacing the power boost with the first strike. I think that would probably be... It would also be more fitting to her as a character, because the idea is that she's a swift swordsman. So I do actually think that the first strike would literally make more sense in the flavor of the character. Let's see. Yo boy Lettuce says, you are a shock blocker. That is the effect on their board. Shock blocker. Okay. Shock blocker. Are you saying like being able to come in and block all of a sudden would be how you would affect their board? So, well, like I said, like the idea is that you would choose between like targeting them, targeting your creature, targeting their creatures, targeting your creatures, or targeting yourself. So, I mean, I can see how making it a shock blocker that would suddenly come in all of a sudden would affect their board state, but it's not a direct confrontational, like, I'm choosing your creature to have this happen to it. So, I think that maybe the block, like the can't block thing might be a little bit more balanced for that specific purpose. Ratherwood says tap or first strike or gain 3 maybe. Tap or first strike or gain 3. So do you guys think that the tap ability is not too overpowered? Because that's what I thought was kind of the implication behind it, was that maybe the tapping might be too strong. I always liked it. I liked the idea of her being able to temporarily disarm like a creature for 1 turn, like coming in, surprising, and disarming a creature for 1 turn. So I don't know. Your boy Liz says this is 2020 magic. That spell is a common in 2010 magic. This is essentially a combat removal spell. Helfer Gamer says, back, been listening, dog wanted to play fetch. Nice, Helfer Gamers. Your boy Lettuce says, yeah, and Ratherwood says, counter a burn spell? I don't know about that. Like, preventing damage? I don't know. I'm just not sure, because, like, I'm wondering if, I'm still trying to, like, figure out if the tapping ability is too powerful and should be removed for the can't block ability. I'm not totally 100% sure yet. Taps herself and a creature. Yeah, I could see that. Bofogden says, I'm just thinking in terms of her as a soldier with speed and what she is doing during combat. So first strike makes a lot of sense. Not sure of pumping, but tapping can probably stay. Okay. No tap is not OP. Okay. Okay, so just basically, you know what? Here, we're going to actually change the card right now. Since we are allowed to keep the tapping ability, I will actually change the card right now as we are speaking. Target creature has first strike until end of turn. There we go. Is first strike have a space? I can't remember. I think it doesn't. I'm going to double check real quick because there's another card in here somewhere with first strike. Where is it? Does that one count? Okay, so I guess I do space it. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've actually looked at a card to, like, read the word first strike. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that I spelled first strike wrong. What am I doing, you guys? What am I doing? I'm spelling words wrong. How sloppy am I? Okay, so we have first strike instead of the +1/+2, which I think is actually kind of more sensible. I think I like that a lot. So this is the first solid change I've made based on your guys' personal opinions, and I really like it. I think I really like this a lot. First strike is 2 words, and it's also capitalized for the strike. I did not know that. Okay, good to know, good to know. I'll probably have to change a bunch of cards in the near future for that. Krebsy says, how about a restriction on the power? Creature with CMC of X gets affected. I don't know about that. Dragon's Lair Gaming says, more like tap is not a standard white spell. Preventing damage from one creature is more white. Ratherwood says, flash tap is emergency tap before attack. Giving first strike will let you kill attacker and gain life as last resort. I like that evaluation, Wrath of Wood. I think that that is a very good evaluation of how all the abilities play into combat at different particular moments of time. I think that's a good evaluation. Your boy Lettuce says, it's just nobody would choose the tap ability. I mean, I think it could come in a pinch, you know? Like, I'm not totally sure. Because I mean, you could flash it in before, you know, combat, like before attackers are declared, and you could tap the most likely threat down before it becomes a threat. Um, let's see. And her balancing act is that she dies in combat a third of the time. Yeah, I mean that seems all right. That seems all right. It does chief. All right. Helfer Gamer says she's a soldier, so she's trained in combat to enter the battlefield and occupy another creature. Makes sense. I like it. I think you guys are my R&D department today. I know that that WotC has given up on R&D, so since WotC doesn't believe in R&D, I'm saying that everybody in my stream right now, all of you guys, we are all now officially R&D. Okay. And we are all R&Ding this. We are all doing research and development for this set. So, who knows? Maybe someday I'll take my friend's advice and actually print these cards out. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll send them out to some special people that I know in my chat who might be willing to test them out for me. Who knows? Okay, so let's move on to the next character. I'm moving on to another legendary character. So this is Mazeret Whisper. Mazeret Whisper is a legendary creature, human mercenary. There is a cycle of 5 mercenaries that all work together. The mercenary cycle is kind of supposed to be like a Weatherlight crew almost, and they are one of each color. So this is the white one, and she's supposed to be kind of like a ninja, sort of, kind of. She's a 5-mana legendary human mercenary, 4/1, moves at instant speed, first strike and vigilance. How scary is that? It says, when Mazeret Whisper enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a non-land permanent they control. Until end of turn, you may cast any number of the cards exiled this way. Alright, opinions, guys. Let's hear them. I want to hear it. I want to know. Okay. So, Dragon's Lair says, also tapping a creature would be a little broken with destroy target tapped creature. There you go, that could be kind of fun. Tap is nice while attacking. I like it. She's cool. I'd spend 1 white mana on her. I'd hit that with a white mana. I'd buy that for a white mana. Wrath of Wood says, didn't you already say you spent more time on this than the Ikoria set? Kinda, sorta. Like I said, I keep telling you guys, this has been a brainchild for more than 10 years. I have been building and constructing this set for over 10 years. There's a history book for it. Guys, I'm not joking around. Like, look at that. Page to page. Page to page, you guys. Page to page historical recounting of a Magic set that doesn't exist. Story of my nerdy-ass teenage Magic-obsessed life. Like, you know? Okay, so, let's see. Helfer Gamer says, oh, what? I'm part of MTG R&D? Well, I better start thinking like a pro. Every card needs free casting. I'm gonna kick you out of R&D, Helfer Gamers. That needs to Mazeret, and she needs to be a vampire and black, lol. I designed this character before I even knew Maz existed. Like, this is Broco, says Lettuce. Ratherwood says this one is named Maz. Remove the cast feature. You know what? I think I like that. What if instead of remove the casting feature? You know what? I think I'm okay with that. I think I would be okay with removing the casting feature. By the way, you guys want to see something funny? There's some more notes in here. Like, I'm telling you guys, I use these notes all the time. So, the previous card notes for the other times that I've designed this character. So, there's some flavor notes to start with. The flavor note says she could... so this was originally her flavor text. But I removed it because her space for the text of what the card does got too crowded, so I removed the flavor text. But the flavor text originally said she could hide her identity, even her blade, but never her beauty. And then there's a note here about the actual design of the card that says, Mazeret Whisper can only attack as long as your opponent controls an untapped creature. And she also used to have the Influence ability, which says this creature cannot be blocked if the defending player has fewer legendary permanents on the battlefield than you. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and I'm going to paste it down here. There we go. And so now what I have here is I have basically an exile spell attached to her body. So she's a 5-mana 4/1, moves at instant speed, first strike vigilance, and it says when she enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a non-land permanent they control. Done and done. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's a little more balanced now that you cannot cast the spell? Let's see. Ratherwood says, this reminds me a lot of the last one, surprise combat stuff. Yeah, but I mean, mind you, like, these are specifically rares. Like, I'm not showing off all of the white spells. I'm kind of, like, skipping the commons and uncommons unless they have specific things that I really, really want to show you guys. So I'm kind of sticking to the big boys and girls, you know what I'm saying? And yes, she is kind of designed, but the whole thing, too, is that the reason why she moves at instant speed is because she's supposed to be like a ninja. So the idea is that she's supposed to suddenly appear all of a sudden. I don't actually have ninjas in the set. She is a mercenary, not a ninja. But I mean, I think it's alright. The only thing I could think of maybe is removing... Oh, wait a minute. So somebody thinks it's underpowered now. Halfer Gamers thinks it's underpowered. Your boy Lettuce says, it comes in and forces all opponents to exile non-land permanent. That is very white, and the cost is fair. Helfer Gamers says, 5 mana, that's underpowered. Dragon's Lair Gaming is giving the thumbs up. You know what? I'm going to say this has the chat room seal of approval, and I think I like it too. I was worried that I would have to remove Vigilance, but you guys seem to be comfortable with it, and I think I trust your guys' judgment on it. I think it looks pretty good as it is. So I like it. I like it. And then another thing about all the mercenaries. All the mercenaries have a named spell. So this is a named spell for Mazeret. So it says Mazeret's Ploy, 3 mana instant, and it says exile target non-land permanent at the beginning of the next end step, return that permanent to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's a flicker. I don't know how you guys feel about a flicker spell at 3 mana, instant speed. I liked it. I thought it was fine. And the thing is that Mazeret, the character, is supposed to be able to use, like, kind of like her ninja abilities to kind of, like, make things disappear and then reappear. So that's kind of what this spell is supposed to represent. So, let's see. Wrathwood says, seems fine, it's badass for combat, and OP chooses what goes. I think that's pretty solid, Wrathwood. Bo Falcon says, seems more appropriate now. Casting cards from exile seems like they need to be from library/hand or graveyard, not what was already on the battlefield. I can see that, Bo. Your boy Lettuce says it's a 5-mana flash mini sweeper. The body is irrelevant. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think that seems fine. Your boy Lettuce says flash full sweeps cost 6. Okay. I think you guys have pretty good judgment on that. Here's something that's interesting. This is a removal creature. It's a Mistbreaker Sentry, 5 mana, 2/2, and it says when Mistbreaker Sentry enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 2 life. Plain and simple. Not too much going on. It was supposed to be, there's a spell that basically does the same thing. I think it's called, like, Solemn Offering or something like that. And basically what I wanted to do was make Solemn Offering, but attach it to a body. So I thought, okay, well, I think it's like 3 mana for Solemn Offering, and then 2 mana for a 2/2. Seems reasonable to me. Put it at an uncommon because I thought it was technically a form of removal. Let's see. Ratherwood says, dude, this art is fire. What are you using? DeviantArt, bros. Go into my description below. Check out my art. Surf around on DeviantArt. It's a beautiful place with beautiful art. Check it out. Okay? So yeah, all the art I use on my set is from DeviantArt. I feel bad because this was a long time ago, and this was before I was giving credit to artists. If I could take it all back, I would, but I can't. Some of these artists, like I've actually tried to look a bunch of them up, and they don't even exist on the website anymore. So I haven't had the chance to give any of them credit for their artwork, but I can just say all the artwork on here that I use, for these cards is not my own artwork. It belongs to other people, and I would never ever try to use this artwork to sell to other people. If I ever in the future decide to print these as actual cards, I will not use them to make any form of money whatsoever, because I would only do that if I had the ability to credit the artists and give them the money that they so very deserve. But if I do turn these into cards someday, then I will give them all away for free, and I don't even care. But I'm glad you guys like the art. I searched around a long time to find the right kind of art. T Love T says you can do a lot with this. The card before, I assume you mean the instant speed flicker. Dragon's Lair Gaming says drop the cost to 4 and it looks good. Are you talking about the Mistbreaker Sentry? Maybe exile instead of destroy for that CMC. Add cycling, call it Cycling Sentry. I actually like Dragon's Lair idea of dropping the cost to 4 instead of 5. I don't know if that's too powerful, but I mean, do you guys think 4 would be better than 5? Because I mean, I'm kind of down for that. The reason why it's 5 is because I said to myself, the original spell is 3, and then the body is 2. So that's why the cost added up is 5. So that was kind of like my overall thought process for it. Yep, MBS. 4 is livable. Alright, if Lettuce says it and Dragon's Lair Gaming says it, then I think that the new cost is 4, and I am totally comfortable with that. So I like that. Here's one that's one that I really love. This is called Palinur Wrinkle. And it's a 4-mana instant speed spell, and it says exile all creatures target player controls, then return all creatures exiled this way to the battlefield. It's a mass one-sided flicker. So basically you can either choose you or your opponent and flicker all creatures on the battlefield on one side of the battlefield or the other. It's an uncommon instant speed, a mass flicker for 4 mana. Let's see, 4 is livable. Lettuce says double white 2. Crepsy says right, 5 is safe. 2/2 ETB gain 2 is double as 2, then disenchant is 2. Reclamation Sage is 3. I think I'm going to stick with the 4. I think it's alright. What do you guys think of the Palinur Wrinkle? The flavor text also says, something powerful and old created this rift. Something far more ancient than we know of. This is actually also a storyline card. The Palinur Wrinkle is, if you guys know about the story of, like, Dominaria, there were basically time rifts created by really powerful magics. And in this particular world that this story takes place in, there are basically time wrinkles in various different places all across the world. And the idea is that super ancient magic created these weird wrinkle rifts in time throughout the planet. And they actually have important plot significance to what's going on. This flicker should be 5. This flicker should be 5, says Bo and Lettuce. Palinur Wrinkle says one-sided mass disenchant. That's a good point. Your set has way too many ETB effects where this is abusive at 4. Okay, so I'm hearing like a 5 and like a double white cost, I hear? That's what it sounds like. Yeah. I think I'm okay with that. You know what? I should have probably kept that in there. I think I'm okay with putting this at 5 with a double white. I have no issues with that whatsoever. So there you go. There's the new cost. 5 mana. What do you guys think? Way too many ETBs, and also bye-bye auras. That's true. But also, keep in mind, Dragon's Lair, didn't I tell you that a lot of the auras have effects that are based on, like, so that it doesn't feel bad when you lose them? Right? Yeah, so I'm okay with this being at 5. I really am. I have, like, the moment that you guys said that, I was like, done. No problem. I'm okay with that. Because that's kind of something I was debating a lot too, and I was like, maybe 4 is okay. I'm not sure. I don't hear any arguments. What is my R&D team thing? What is my R&D team thing? Come on. Come on, guys. I got some of the biggest, beautiful brains in all of YouTube hanging out helping me design cards. What does my think tank think about this card, huh? You guys like it? Oh, that water's delicious. All right, well, I'm not hearing any arguments, so I'm going to say this one's good. I'm going to say this one's good, so I'm going to move on. I think it's solid. Okay, so we're going to skip that one. Return of the Hero. Okay, this is one that I've kind of thought about a few times. This is a nuts one, okay? Is nuts. Is nuts. Bo Falcon says, looks good now. I like it. It's still very good at 5. And Dragon's Lair Gaming says, I like this cost better. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so this is called Return of the Hero. It is a tribal enchantment soldier, 5 mana. And it says, whenever a white creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a 1/1 white soldier token creature into play. Whenever a soldier creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is equal to the power of the soldier creature that dealt combat damage this way. There's a lot going on in this card. So, okay. Lettuce says cut tribal. Maybe. That's something that I was debating a long time ago as well, is whether or not tribal was even worth doing. But I want to hear about the overall thought of the card. So it says whenever a white creature specifically, like any kind of white creature, it doesn't need to be a human white creature, it doesn't need to be a soldier white creature, it just says a white creature enters the battlefield, you may put a 1/1 white soldier token into play under your control. So then it says, whenever a soldier, for example, maybe the one you just put into play, or whatever, whenever it deals damage, a combat damage specifically, you may put X +1/+1 counters on any creature you control, where X is equal to the power of the soldier that dealt combat damage this way. Bo Falcon says maybe a non-token creature. I like that. Yeah, it should be non-token. No, that's immediately something that needs to be done that I wasn't thinking about. Non-token. Thank you, Mr. Bo Falcon. That is definitely appreciated because I would not be okay with tokens breaking that. So non-token is now officially in there. No qualms with that. Dragon's Lair says, clarify non-token creature entering the battlefield. Done and done. Then say on that creature instead of target creature. Complexity fix, cut tribal, and any spell that cares about tribal spells, fix those too. We'll see. We'll see, Lettuce. That's a major overhaul I'd have to do. You're going to see a lot of tribal stuff. So if I did do that, I would literally have to overhaul the entire set. But I'll kind of make some tweaks here and there as we go along. Bo Falcon says, and change the into play to onto the battlefield. Yeah, sorry, that should give you guys a little bit of context about how old this set is, because it's using the old school style of saying into play instead of onto the battlefield. Onto the battlefield. That's fine. Yeah, you guys will see a lot of stuff like that, because it's old school. First ability is an infinite loop. Really? Oh, you're right. Wait. Are you talking about because it didn't used to say non-token? Tribal is legit cancer. It's why it never left Lorwyn. Okay. Alright. Well, I might, maybe I'll just kind of like remove all the spells that say tribal next to them. But I do have a lot of spells that care about, like, do you have a soldier creature? If you do, it does this, So, whenever a soldier creature you control deals combat damage. Maybe just say, like, non-token soldier. I don't know. Well, but part of it too is also supposed to be that the soldier tokens are supposed to be able to activate the +1/+1 counter ability. How you had it before. Oh, I see. Okay, so you were saying that it was an infinite loop based on the idea that it didn't say non-token. I get that. That seems pretty sensible to change. And it is an uncommon as well, but I just kind of felt like that it's fine at uncommon. Um, First ability, yeah. Changing a play to on the battlefield. I did that. Whenever a soldier creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. X is equal to the power of the soldier, where that creature that dealt combat damage this way. Okay. You guys think it should be more expensive, or let's see. Ratherwood says Necropolis Regent does the same thing. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Your boy Lettuce says that is fine. Having sorceries and instants with typing is sloppy. You're definitely going to see some of that, Lettuce. I'm sorry to say it, but you will see some of that. But I can change that. I could probably change that. Okay, so it seems like you guys seem to be alright with it as it is. It probably just needed a couple of those keyword changes. That card doesn't matter. That card doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. It's kind of like a Lord card, but it's not a big deal. It's just influence and soldier creatures you control get +0/+1, which makes it into a 1/2 with influence. This is a big deal. This card's a big freaking deal. This is one of those cards where I was taking how the combat phase functions and trying to flip it on its head. So this one's wild and wacky, and you guys are gonna have to bear with me on this one, okay? I think you guys will probably understand what it's trying to do once I explain it, but just stick with me. So this card's called Strategic Duel. It's an instant at 4 mana, and it says target creature you control has vigilance until end of turn. And then it says if you played Strategic Duel during a combat phase, target creature you control that is attacking or blocking cannot die during this combat phase, and target creature your opponent controls that is attacking or blocking dies at end of combat. It's a very weird, complex, white, combat-oriented removal spell. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me on this one. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think. So Lettuce says, okay, so my advice is anytime I see the tribal super type, I'm bopping 19-year-old Hobbs in the snoot. Do I look 19 to you? Am I a pretty little 19-year-old to you, Lettuce? That's so sweet. Okay, what do you guys think of this card? Is it too ridiculous? Is it too powerful? Is it too weak? I can never get a full... I personally don't think it's like... I feel like it's alright with what it's trying to do. And I feel like it's balanced as a 4-mana common. And it requires that you control a creature that is attacking or blocking. So it's not like a straight-up removal spell. You know what I'm saying? So, I would like to hear what you guys think. Cobalt Steel, good to see you in here, brother. Thank you for being here again. Cobalt Steel says, hey-o, I told my friend Legend about you. I think he subbed. Well, I did hit 100 subscribers, so if he was my 100th subscriber, I deeply appreciate it. We're celebrating today, you know? Lettuce says no, but 19-year-old you that slapped tribal typing on a bunch of crap needs potty training. Yeah, I will admit that I was kind of like... I was young when I came up with the idea of putting tribal stuff on everything. And most of the tribal cards are actually really old. So, like I said, I took a lot of influences from a lot of different things, and Lorwyn tribal types was something that I was really into at the time when I first designed this set. Dragonslayer Gaming says, I think it's interesting. Well, I'm glad you think so, Dragonslayer. Craftsy K says, target creature you control gains vigilance, then choose one or both. Target attacking creature becomes indestructible until end of turn, until end of combat. Target creature gains death touch until end of combat. Dragonslayer says, just needs some cleaning up for the wording. Okay, so the major thing, like I noticed that Crepsy was saying indestructible and death touch. A major part of the design space that this card is in is when I came up with this card, I said, I want a card that plays with the words cannot die and card must die. So the whole point is that it reaches outside of mechanics that would influence most forms of death in combat, like indestructible and death touch, obviously. So the whole point is that there can be no workaround for the creature not being able to die and for your creature to dying. That was literally the whole point of this card. It was literally to utilize the word die in the mechanics for this card. That is super important. And it's just supposed it's supposed to be a creative design space that is basically never been used before. That is literally what this card is all about. So I mean, I'm not sure how to go about it. I feel like I don't really know if there's anything I wanted to change. I wanted to do vigilance in order for the purpose of, like, I can't remember why I put vigilance in there. There was a reason, and I can't remember what it is now. It had something to do with how the card works overall, and now for the life of me, I can't remember it. But I mean, the whole thing is about the, like, preventing your creature from dying and forcing another creature to die without a mechanic that would force death on a creature like Death Touch. Hey, Legend27, good to see you, dude. Glad to have you in here, homie. Crupsy K says, cannot leave battlefield until end of turn and is sent to graveyard. That's interesting. Well, because there is, like, they actually use the word die in Magic cards now. So, don't they? I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure that they use that word for Magic cards. Bofog wants to know if I have notes on this card. Let me see. There are no notes on this card. This card is completely unique in the way that it is designed. No additions, no things that have been taken away. This is it. This is literally it. And the thing is that I wouldn't know how to go about changing this if I wanted to change it. Now, I will admit that it is very wordy. But also, what it's trying to do is very complex. It's a very complex, weird way of doing things. Cannot leave the battlefield until end of turn and is sent to graveyard. I actually almost kind of like that, Crepsy. Cannot leave battlefield until end of turn and is sent to... You know what? I'm going to mark that as a note. I'm going to go ahead and write that down as a note. Because I think that's actually... Lettuce says, die is official shorthand from enters the graveyard from battlefield. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so... I'm going to go ahead and type in... cannot leave battlefield until end of turn. Until end of turn. And... comma, and is sent to graveyard. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how else to go about it. It seems like you guys are a little dumbfounded on what to do with it as well. I think that other than the note that Crepsy gave me, which I think is possibly a good suggestion to look a little deeper into, if for nothing else specifically for the purpose of shortening the text a little bit, other than that, I think I'm going to move on. I really do, because it's a weird card, and you guys can definitely see it's playing in a design space that is not very common. It's very out there. It's very weird. But at the same time, I think it fits into white because it's setting rules. It's playing with the idea of white says the rules are you die and you don't die. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it fits all right. I just think that maybe it could be shortened a little bit. Legend says, congrats on 100 subs. I heard a little birdie tell me that you might have been my 100th sub. So if you were my 100 sub, thank you so much, Mr. Legend. I super appreciate it. And thank you so much for coming in and wishing me a happy 100 subs. Super awesome. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, I think the description is better now. Okay. I will try and play with this a little bit more, Dragon Slayer, and we'll kind of mess with it. So let me move on to the next interesting rare. So here we have is Territorial Juxtaposition, which is 2, and it's an enchantment that says, lands you control gain all basic land types of lands your opponents control in addition to their normal types. Lands your opponents control gain all basic land types of lands you control in addition to their normal types. Have fun, guys! Good luck, everybody! What do you guys think of this madness? Okay, so Bo Falcon says, I like the concept, just the wording seems off like Dragon Slayer Gaming said. I think I'm going to tweak the wording of the strategic dual card that I just showed you guys. I think that the wording that Krepsy gave might help, which is why I put a note down to look into it a little deeper. Krepsy K says, play only during combat phase, untap target creature gains indestructible, target creature goes to graveyard after combat. Like, it's the indestructible part that really bugs me about it, you know? Because, like, okay, so let's say that you make the creature indestructible, right, Krepsy? But then let's say the person who you're playing it against suddenly casts what's that damn card called? Well, okay, let's just say your opponent, like, you cast that card and it gives it indestructible, right? And then your opponent casts a -X spell. So then won't you think that the -X defeats the purpose of giving the creature indestructibility? Now, I know that indestructibility is supposed to be killed by -X. That is literally the point. That is literally one of the balance factors of indestructibility. However, that would literally defeat the purpose of the design space that card is in. The whole point of that card is to guarantee that one of your creatures will not die no matter what, and the other side guarantees that one of your opponent's creatures will die no matter what. So if you add indestructibility for your creature instead of the does not die clause, then it completely defeats the purpose of the card. That's why I don't want to use, like, indestructibility. Okay, so Dragon's Argument says, does this set have land walking? Okay. Funny story. No, it does not. Once upon a time, in the very early days of this set, I had decided that I wanted land walking. I made a whole bunch of cards with land walking. I had non-basic land walking. I had plains walking, mountain walking, island walking, forest walking, swamp walking, like any kind, like all kinds of land walking. And this card was designed during the time that there was land walking all over the place in this set. Eventually, it came out that land walking was forever going to be removed from Magic the Gathering. They were getting rid of it. And I decided, you know what? Land walking, I should get rid of it too. I didn't like it anymore. So I got rid of all the land walking cards. You remember seeing, like, the influence mechanic? The influence mechanic was designed originally in this set to replace land walking. So I still have some of the cards that basically affect lands that would benefit land walking, but there's no more land walking. So I kind of had to, like, keep in mind that I kind of wanted there to still be cards that affected lands in the ways that they did, but they still had to be good despite the fact that there is no more land walking. So Territorial Juxtaposition, as you see it right now, is one of the last remaining cards that is a remnant of this set when it used to have land walking in it. This is it. There's only a couple other cards that kind of do stuff with lands that would benefit land walking, and I kind of kept them in just because I liked them. This is one of those cards. And I thought it would be kind of fun to mess around with for a bunch of different things. I'm sure, like, the idea is that when I took out land walking, I was like, okay, well, land walking is out of the picture. However, I'm sure that there's a combo in here somewhere that somebody could figure out. You never know. Okay, so Legend says, yep, I'm the 100th sub. I like that you are a fellow The Elder Scrolls fan. Why, thank you, Legend. I am a major Elder Scrolls fan. I have been playing it for a very, very long time. I love Oblivion. And I hope you've been enjoying the Oblivion streams that I've been doing. They've been a lot of fun. And I'm definitely continuing it as a series. It's going to keep going until I say it's done. And I don't really know when I'm going to finish it. So I'm glad you're here and enjoying it, buddy. Lettuce says, if they have the -X spell, then they got you. If the point of the card is the card has no counter, then it's a terrible design. Well, it is supposed to have, like, answers to it, but the point is that it's supposed to prevent death. Like, that's the idea. I wanted it to kind of just make it so that a creature could not die until end of turn, and that was it. I don't know if -X actually is one of those things that could get around the not dying part. So, I mean, you know what? If it actually does get around the not dying thing, then maybe I'll let it slide. I don't know. We'll see. But it was supposed to be... The whole point was that it's not that I was trying to design a card that could not be stopped. The whole point of it was I was trying to design a card that was playing in a space of design that nobody had done before. And that's what I was really trying to accomplish. It was because the word die is an actual mechanic in the game. Like, it actually means something in the game. And I was like, well, how come it's never been utilized for a card before? Like, why can't you have a card that specifically functions around whether or not a creature dies? And that's basically the point of, like, what that card does. So that's why I built it that way. Cobalt Steel says, you would like another friend of mine since you like Magic cards. He has boxes full of them. I'm a major Magic fan for sure. I've been playing Magic since I was 11 years old, and I have an insane amount of cards. Dragonslayer Gaming says, unless there are cards that affect basic land types or land walking, there is no point. Retherwood says, sidewalking? Bofog says, jaywalking? Retherwood says, this should be green. I did think about that, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. It kind of fell into this weird design space of, like, white setting the rules and basically saying, like, whatever you have for your lands, I also have. And whatever I have, you have too. You know, that's kind of like what it was supposed to be doing. And that's why it's in the white design space. Krepsy says, I looked at a similar card last night. Lands your opponents control gain all basic land types of lands you control. T-Love T says, you gave him his $1 millionth dollar, Legend 27. Okay. My $1 millionth dollar? Dragonslayer says, effect or affect. I can't remember the correct word. It's okay, I know what you meant, Dragonslayer. It's effect. Right. Lettuce says, so that spell is like 5 replacement effect modifications. The complexity creep is real when you're modifying state-based actions. I could kind of see that, Lettuce. I might tweak it. Maybe I'll completely remove it. I also have a folder of... I have a set editor in my collection that is specifically designed... It's full of cards that I rejected off of other playsets. So I could just kind of throw that card into that set where it's a reject. And, I keep it because it's still something that I might want to think about in the future. But I might just be gone with it and just change it up, and maybe I'll do the indestructible death touch thing. I don't know. I have no idea. Like I said, it was the whole concept was to play in a design space that was not done before. That was literally the point of it. Trying to, like, push the boundaries of what you can do with Magic cards, you know? So, Legend says, that reminds me of that SpongeBob YTP. That was hilarious. SpongeBob? Okay. Dragon Slayer Gaming says white is a dictator. I thought that was red's job. No, red is all emotion, buddy. Red is like, I don't care. I just do what I want. Lettuce says replace it with Holy Day. Ratherwood says burn it. Okay. So so basically you guys are saying territorial juxtaposition might have to go. The problem is that it's a rare slot. And that would mean that I would literally have to design a whole new rare. So, yeah. I don't know. Let me go ahead and write a note here. Possible removal from set. That was, I'll be honest, it was one of those, this card in particular was one that I was like, I really want to keep it in here. This is what I want. And I was kind of like fighting to keep it in, you know? So it's possible that it just might be better to just get rid of it, honestly. Your boy Lettuce says, when the release notes on a single card is half of your FAQ, then you have an issue. I could see that. I mean, I could say maybe Strategic Duel might have to be removed as well. Or we could just try and change it. I do have that note here about the cannot leave battlefield until end of turn and is sent to graveyard. So that might be something to think about. Okay, here's another really weird one for you guys. Velat, the Soldier of Kings. A legendary common. Okay? This was the first time that I built a card that was legendary and common. There's a few of them in here, but this was the first one that I built. The point of it being was that it's supposed to be legendary, but it's supposed to be everywhere. And I don't know. It has two of the main mechanics for the set, which is influence and representative. So influence means it cannot be blocked if your opponent has fewer legendary permanents. And representative says you may use this ability as long as you control another legendary creature. And then its representative ability is tap to tap target creature. There you go. Common legendary creature card. Yeah. Alright, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us, Legend, and thank you so much for being my 100th subscriber. I really appreciate it. So you have a great day, buddy. I'll see you later. Okay. So, let's see. Wrath of Wood says right now it's a jank rare. I could see that. I'll think about getting rid of it. We'll see. I assume you're talking about the territorial juxtaposition. Dragon Slayer Gaming says cough, companions, cough, mutate. Yeah, it's true. Krebsy says all basic lands become all basic land types. That would be more powerful, actually, Krebsy. Maybe that would be you know what? That would maybe be a better card than only allowing to share opponents' land types. So I'm going to write that. All basic... Well, how about all lands instead of basic lands? All lands become all basic land types in addition to their normal types. There. Because I kind of like that, because that would be really strong. Like, you could pack that into, like, a deck that, you know, needs different colors, and there you go, you'd be set, you know? That might be a better choice. I think I like that, actually. And then at that point, I would probably have to up the cost. I could see that. So originally, when I first designed this card, it was 3 white. It was 3 white originally. And I moved it down to 2 when I got rid of land walking. So, what about 3? I'll meet you halfway. How about 3 instead of 4? Like that. Well, okay, not actually like that. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys, because that would be terrible. Let me, okay. Because this is one that I want to, like, see change for the better. Oops. Hold on. Okay, let's try this. What do you guys think of that? And I'll probably put in some flavor text or something to make it a little bit better. So it just says it's 3-mana enchantment. All lands become all basic land types in addition to their normal types. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, I've seen Prismatic Omen before, which seems pretty darn good. Yeah, I guess it is kind of like a white Prismatic Omen. Lands get lands. Prismatic Omen is 1G. Yeah. I remember getting a magic card and it was a golem that reminds me of Baymax from Big Hero 6. Cobalt Steel, do you play Magic or no? It's all good if you don't. Lettuce says, does the same exact thing. Oh, so it isn't one-sided. This is White Prismatic Omen. Reprint Prismatic Omen. Well, I mean, we could just get rid of it and create a new rare eventually, but that would be something I would have to do on my own time. You know what? We're getting really close to my 2-hour mark, so what I want to do is I actually want to show you guys the big boys and girls. I want to scare the shit out of you guys. You guys want to see some freaking scary ass shit? Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to show you some really, really scary stuff. Where is it? Okay, so I think... Hold on a second. I think the first one is... I want to scare the shit out of you guys. Okay, here's the first one. This is my very first... This is my first of my 5 god cards in the set. Okay, I want to show you guys these cards before I have to end this stream, okay? So, this is the first one. This is Glictic, the Deity of Change. 2 white, 1 black, 1 red, legendary creature god. Indestructible. When Glictic enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. Whenever you gain life, each other player loses that much life. Pay 3 mana, tap, target player gains 5 life. If this card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library instead. What do you think? Okay. So Lettuce says if you want this effect, this is Prismatic Omen. Okay. I mean, I'll probably tweak the territorial juxtaposition and make something better. Cobalt Steel says, no, I don't play Magic. I used to have a small collection, but I gave it to my cousin that plays them. Well, that's all good. I mean, I honestly, it just so happens, Cobalt, that I really like you and your friend because you guys are some of the first few people who come to my channel who are not initially Magic players. Most of the people who come in and hang out with me are mostly Magic players, but my channel is not specifically a Magic channel. Like, it's all sorts of things. Like, we play video games, we do cooking, we talk about things, but I also do enjoy Magic, so I talk about Magic and stuff. So it's all good if you're not into Magic. But Magic has been a big part of my life, and even though I try not to make it a focus of my channel, it's still kind of a big part of my life. And this was kind of just like, since I have a lot of people who come onto my channel and play Magic, I thought that they would have a good time kind of seeing some of the Magic stuff that I do. Okay, right off the bat, Crepsy K says, too much! So, one of the things that I was thinking about is removing the Indestructible, and just making it so that it can just be shuffled back into the deck, you know? So here's the thing to keep in mind. All of the God cards, because there are 5 God cards, all 5 of the God cards have the Indestructible, and all 5 of the God cards have the shuffle into the deck when it dies. So I would be okay with removing the Indestructible from all 5 of them, and keeping the shuffle ability on all of them. Let's see, your boy Lettuce says, we hate vampires and girls. Bofoggen says, take off one of the abilities and then it seems good. Crepsy is right. It's too much. Cobalt Steel says, Legend doesn't play it either. He likes the way some look, though. That's okay. I don't mind that you guys don't like Magic. It's totally fine. So, by the way, did you guys notice that there's actually a bunch of notes in here, too, for this card? Because this has been remade a few different times. So, I don't know if you guys can see this particular note, but these God cards used to be Planeswalkers before they were God cards. And then I kind of decided that the fact that they were planeswalkers ruined the flavor of them being gods, because they would be able to leave the realm whenever they wanted, but the gods in this set are supposed to be tied to the realm. So I decided to not make them planeswalkers and made them actual legendary god creatures. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the indestructibility because I think that I want to get rid of that. And I'll go ahead and put it down here as a note in case there's ever a reason to bring it back. So, okay, so we got rid of the indestructibility, but I want to keep the shuffling ability because they are supposed to come back. They are god creatures. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, I'd reduce the life gain to 2 or 3. You know what? I like 3. I think 3 is a good number. Because then it would act like an unpreventable lightning bolt. I think would be cool. So we'll do 3 life. Okay. So, and the reason why it would act like a lightning bolt is because it says whenever you gain life, each other player loses that much life. Bam. There you go. You have a 3-mana, unpreventable lightning bolt, basically, to every player. Maybe it should be 2 to every player. Maybe, you know what? I think maybe a shock would, an unpreventable multiplayer shock would probably be better than an unpreventable multiplayer lightning bolt. Thank you, Dragon Slayer Gaming. I appreciate that. So there you have it. There's God number 1. If everybody's okay with it, by the way, enters the battlefield, destroys a permanent, has a permanent ability that says whenever you gain life, each player loses that much life, then has a 3-mana tap ability that says you gain 2 life, and thus in the process would shock every other player. And then it also says when it dies, you shuffle it back into your library. Bam. We have, there's your God card. Let's see. Ratherwood says, any change, sir? Cobalt Steel says, have you played PUBG? I have actually not. I've heard a lot about it, though. I played it with my friend, Sonic731. Check him out if you want. He has 1.3 thousand. Wow, very nice. And we got 1 win each time we played the past 2 streams of it. That's pretty cool. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, Commander card for sure. Cold Steel says he streamed it both times. Very cool, Cobalt Steel. Bo Falcon says, gain 2 life, activation needs to be lower now. Okay. Well, then if that's the case, then I would boost it up to 3 then. Because, so, you'll notice that all of the gods also have a 3-mana tap ability. And I don't really want to change that, because then I would have to also change all the other ones' mana cost. Like I said, there are a lot of patterns and uniformity to a lot of different cards in my set. So there are certain things that I'm a little reluctant to change. So if the 3 mana is better for the 3 life, then I think that I'll keep it that way instead. So I'll stick with it being like that. So next I'm going to... Oh god, I'm already over my time. So I'm going to... Oh god, where's the other one? So I showed you guys the first one, which was up here somewhere. You know what? This will make my life easier. There we go. Okay, so I basically I use the search command to find all of the god cards. So here is the next god card. So this is, I'm just going to do a few minutes over time so that I can show you guys all of this. So right off the bat, we're getting rid of the indestructible. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay. And lots of notes in here. The god cards have gone through multiple revisions, like I said. Okay, so this is Jinta, the deity of justice. She is double red, white, blue, 1/6, legendary god. Creatures creatures you control have haste and vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a white 2/2 human knight creature token onto the battlefield. Pay 3 mana, see what I said about that uniformity. Tap, until end of turn, creatures your opponents control can't block. There you go. let's see, instead of shuffle in, put 3 cards down like the Amp Let Zombie Gods, the Almond Cat Zombie Gods. Okay, that might be a good idea. Cuts down on the shuffle. Okay, I could see that. That might be a good idea. In order to save space, I would assume is what you're trying to say. That's not a bad idea. Cobalt Steel says, how do you feel about getting raided? I can raise your sub count by a few. Hey, Cobalt Steel, I wouldn't mind it. I would greatly appreciate it. Bo Falcon says, I was thinking that too, Lettuce. And Cinder Shadow comes in and starts laughing. So, let's see. Instead of shuffle, put 3 cards down. So that would be, if Jinta Deity Justice would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, put it into your library 3 cards from the top. Is that really how that would be? Let me see. Put it into your library 3 cards from the top. Maybe I should actually look up the card that you're basing it off of so I can get the word right. I'm going to look that up really quick here. Oh, God, I can't even remember their damn names. Bontu. Wasn't one of them named Bontu? Okay, Bontu. Bontu. Wait, no, that's not right. Oh, excuse me. Okay, hold on. Bontu. Bontu the Glorified? That's not it either. What were they called? I don't remember what the God cards were called. Well, you know what? I'll look it up later. Screw it. I'll keep it in mind, though. Let's see. Cinder Shadow says, rating, LOL, I have been here the whole time, just looking into the prize payout for Arena Open. Very nice. Scarab God. Oh, it says look up the Scarab God? Okay, that'll probably be easier. Okay, I'm going to look that up really quick so I can get the wording right. Because that might make things a lot easier. The Scarab God. Okay. So, let's see what it says. When the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. But that's not the 3 cards thing. That's different. Locust God is the same as Scarab God. It has the same kind of flavor information. Well, not flavor, but rules text. So those 2 gods don't actually go 3 cards from the top. They return directly to your hand. So I don't know if I want to do that. I think that might be I think that might be around the same amount too. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Okay, let me go to the next god because I just want to kind of get through these because I really should be ending this stream. Okay, and I'll go ahead and change this one as well. Okay. Okay, so this is Piva, the deity of abundance. She's double blue, red, green, legendary god. It says, you may play an additional land on your turn. And it says, creatures you control have flying. And then it says, 3 mana tap, draw 2 cards. Then you Then you may reveal 1 land card from your hand. If you do, you may put that land onto the battlefield. And then it has the same clause about shuffling it back into the owner's library. So that is the 3rd god, I believe? Oh, it's God Eternal. Okay, God Eternal Bontu. Cobalt Steel says, next time my friend Retro is live, I'll see about that raid if you're live at the same time. Well, I really appreciate it, Cobalt Steel. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to look up that card really quick. Okay, so... is it God Dash? God Eternal Bontu. Okay. So, when God Eternal Bontu dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library. Okay. So, I'm going to take this copy. When God Eternal Bontu dies. Okay. So, let me kind of see what that says. Pivot Deity... Okay, so this... Okay, so we're going to test some stuff out. We're going to test some stuff out really quick here. You know what? I'm just going to make a note and change it later, because I kind of want to just get through these. So I'm going to take the entire ability that's written here, and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it onto the notes for this card so that I can come back later and mess around with it. Okay, so that's that one. So then we'll do the next one, which is Snay, the deity of climate. Yeah, she's a sexy frog lady. You better believe she's a sexy frog lady. Because I wouldn't have her any other way. I saw this art, like, when I was, like, looking for, like, a merfolk character. Like, I remember when I found this, and I was, like, looking for a merfolk character, and I saw this artwork, and I'm like, oh, yeah! Yeah, that's my kind of merfolk. Okay. Okay, so this is Snay, the deity of climate. And she's a legendary god. And it says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may draw a card. And it says, lands you control are all basic land types in addition to their other types. Sounds like a card we've already looked at, doesn't it? Don't worry, I'll get rid of the juxtaposition. 3 mana tap, you may untap up to 3 permanents you control. Maybe? Maybe, baby? Okay, and I'm just going to jump to the next one. Zix, the deity of eternity. This is 2 black, 1 green, 1 white. And it's... Hold on a second. I'm once again changing all the information here. Okay, so it says, when Zix, the deity of eternity, enters the battlefield, you may return target creature from a graveyard to the battlefield. And then it says, creatures you control have death touch and lifelink. And then it says, 3 mana, 1 black, tap, put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. Sounds like a powerful land, don't you think? And then the classic, you would shuffle it into its library if it would die. Alright, thank you so much for being here, Cobalt Steel. You were awesome. Thank you so much. Bo Falcon is giving me the text about the gods and shuffling them back in, saying bye to Cobalt. Hobbs loves them scaly. Dude, Snay is so hot. I love that artwork. You guys don't understand, like, she became my favorite god character in, like, not only the cards, but also in the story I wrote, and it's primarily because I found that art piece before anything else. Like, I wrote her character after I had already applied the art to that card. So I got a lot of inspiration from her as a character based on that art. I love that artwork. It's so amazing. I wish I could find it again and credit the artist for it. Cobalt Steel, peace out. Says Ratherwood. Bo Falcon, that can definitely go infinite with itself untapping. That is true. I didn't think of that. Let's see. I think you're talking about Snay is what you were talking about, which actually makes a lot of sense that I didn't think about. How about you may untap up to 3 non-creature permanents? How about that? Actually, I don't need the dash, do I? Yeah. Okay. Non-creature permanents. And that'll prevent it from going on infinitely. Because, yeah, I'll admit, I didn't actually think of that. That's a really weird oversight on my part. But that's why I have my R&D department here to help me through it. But yeah, I love her. She's my favorite of the gods. I give her a lot of special treatment. Because she's so damn fine. Let's see. Oh, other would work. Untap up to 3 other permanents you control? That might be a better idea, because it also saves space. 3 other. I think I like that better. I think you got the right idea, Bo Falcon. Like I said, I love my little R&D department here. You guys rock. Okay, so 3 other permanents you control. Yeah, but I will admit, she's my favorite of all of them. She's amazing. And then I showed you Zix as well. Zix is pretty chill. And he seems alright. He seems alright. 3 mana seems pretty balanced for that particular ability. It's like, what's that card called? Whatever. The 2 mana green, like, sorcery that allows you to return a card from the graveyard. Yeah. Non-legendary would also fix it. I think the other is fine. I think the other was a really good touch from Bo Falcon. I think that was really smart. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I got to show you all the gods, which is what I was really excited about. I know I spent a lot of time going through each card, but it was a really unique experience having like my own little R&D department with you guys. That was a lot of fun. I don't get to like, because a lot of the time I just only have my brain to work off of, and like as you guys can very clearly see, I miss really obvious facts. Like for example, Bo Falcon had to point out to me that that went infinite by itself, and I didn't even realize that because sometimes my brain doesn't catch that stuff right away. So it's really nice to have like, like 5 or 6 or 10 different people all looking over my ideas and being like, oh, what about this, and oh, what about that, and oh, this is not good, and oh, this is too good. So I really appreciate you guys being here and having a good time and being my little R&D group and looking at my cards, and I got to kind of show you a little bit into my set. Maybe we'll do this again in the future. I thought it was really a good idea to do this too, because I thought it would be a lot of fun to celebrate my 100 subscribers by having a stream where my subscribers can come in and chat with me, and we can discuss things and chat about Magic and have a good time. And I got to talk with all of you individually and keep up with the chat really well, which is really fun. Teamwork makes the dream work, says Dragon's Lair. I totally agree, brother. Bo Falcon says you could use it with Gaia's Cradle, so you want to keep Legendary as an option. Oh, okay, I could see that. That might be something I would change eventually. And I will look into the whole thing about changing the text so that it would go 3 from the top, which would simplify the overall text box, because it's a bit wordy, I'll admit it. But those are the God cards, and those are the really exciting ones, and I wanted to really show you guys. But I do have to wrap this up because I am like almost 20 minutes over my time. I just wanted to spend that extra time showing you those really cool cards, so that's why. But I really appreciate you guys all being here. I'm so glad that we made it to 100 subscribers, and you know what? We're going to make it to 200 subscribers, and then 300 subscribers, and then 400, and 500, and then 1,000, and then 1,000,000, and then 1,000,000,000, and then it just go on, and then I don't know what to do after that, and then it'll be amazing. So, and I can't do that without you guys, so I love having all you in here. So thank you all so much for being here. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you guys can know when I'm going to do fun things like this. I also have, whoa, I just had a hardcore brain fart. Oh, also, other than that, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up because that really helps me out. And also, in the description below, I changed some things up. I now officially have a Patreon. That's right. I was told by a few different people that it would be easier for them to pay me through Patreon on a regular basis than it is to just pay me every once in a while, like randomly through PayPal. So if PayPal is still more comfortable for you, that's awesome. But I also have a Patreon now for those that it makes it easier for. So I have, in the description below, I have a Patreon, I have a PayPal, I have my DeviantArt profile where you can see my art as well as other amazing art, like the art that I have here in my little thing, from other wonderful artists on DeviantArt, so I highly recommend you check out that website and look through some various cool magical art. And there was something else I was going to say, but I think what I want to say is, you know what, guys, before I end the stream? Follow your dreams, guys. Because I love all of you, and I want all of you to accomplish your dreams. So, thank you so much for being out here, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Happy 100 subscribers, you guys are amazing. Bye, guys. I'll see you later. Bye! You guys are amazing!